Are all parties ready to proceed?
People are not, Your Honor. Subpoenas were sent out on January 27th, and reminders were sent out yesterday, February 9th, and there are no witnesses here.
Anything from the defense?
Your Honor, we move to dismissal.
Okay, with the people not ready to proceed, today's 7th exam, your time is now 10:17. Exam is scheduled for 10 o'clock. I will dismiss without question.
Thank you, Judge.
You have a form already filling out?
Yes.
They what?
Person.
Okay, all right. Well, CR438.
Yeah.
Next, you get file, please. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, just my wife told me it's pretty schedule. She's got me late for work.
But I'm part of that period life now, so I get it.
Judge, may I pose?
Okay, we're on the record, this is the people of the state of Michigan versus Alvin Anthony Robert White. Case 2260682. Mr. White charged with one count of weapons carried concealed. Today the date set for a preliminary examination. Appearances.
Alexander Kirker on behalf of the people, E86282.
Good morning, Your Honor. Nishad Mihana appearing on behalf of Mr. White, E59371.
And Mr. White, can you state your full name for the record, please?
Hello, good morning, Judge. My name is Alvin White.
Good morning. And my understanding this is going to be a waiver.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections from the people?
No objection from the people, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. White, I want to ask you a couple questions, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it correct that it's your right, or I should say your wish to waive your exam today? Okay, you understand you have your right to an exam.
Yes,
Did your lawyer talk to you about, or I should say, I'll talk to you about it. You understand that if you were to hold your exam today, the prosecutor would have to show at the probable cause standard, which is a lower standard than beyond a reasonable doubt, that the crime that I read, the one count, was committed in the city of Detroit, and that you probably committed that crime. You understand that? Make sure you say yes for the court.
yes,
Okay. And that by waiving your preliminary exam today, that means the prosecutor does not have to show any evidence or proof today.
yes,
Okay. And knowing that, do you still wish to waive your preliminary exam?
yes,
Did anyone threaten you or force you to waive your exam?
no, ma'am,
And did anyone promise you anything for you to waive your
no,
exam?
ma'am.
Okay. So I find your waiver to be voluntarily, understandably, and freely given. So I will have you bound over to Third Circuit Court across the street, Frankfurt Hall of Justice, for your arraignment on information, and that will be February 24th at 9:05 a.m. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, anything else?
No, thank you, Judge. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Thank you.
Attorney Rush?
Yes, good morning, Judge.
Barney, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Happy Friday. I
Yeah,
am not on the docket actually. I talked to Madam Clerk the other day. I have a case, Robert Williams. When we were set for his preliminary examination, before the preliminary examination, it was in front of Judge Larry Williams. I referred him for competency. At the time, he had suffered a brain injury, and I was worried about his memory issues. Since then, he has gone through surgery. The brain swelling is no longer an issue, and so I want to get the case back on the docket. I don't think he actually ever was properly referred to competency, so I don't think there's a report, and I would just ask that we set this for an exam date.
okay, let's see. Case number, do you have the case number by any chance?
I can try to find it right now. I apologize.
What's the name again, Your Honor? Robert Williams. We're looking to. For a case that warrants that.
From 1995.
No, it's not even, I don't think it will be a warrant status. It's a comprehensive. It never happened. That was lucky. Yep. Okay, we found it.
Thank you. You're faster than I
The clerk is faster, because I've been sitting here waiting. Okay, so it's 2260043. So there's a schedule for an arraignment on the bench warrant on
That-
February 7th.
that must be a that may have been a clerical error because he was present on the preliminary exam date. And so there was not a bench warrant for him. But we were scheduled for February 27th for a competency hearing.
Okay, let me look at the 27th and see if I can just make that the exam date, if that works for you.
It doesn't work for me. I could do it. I could appear on Zoom, but not in person. But could we do the next week?
Let's see. So not 27, 28, 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, right?
Exactly. Yes, I'm out of town.
So any day that next week works.
Okay. Could we do? Let me think. Could we do March 6th?
Yep, that's fine. Does 9 o'clock work?
Perfect. 9 o'clock works. Thank you, Judge.
You are welcome.
And Your Honor.
1 second, Attorney Rush.
I think isn't incarcerated.
He's not in custody, is he?
No, he is not in custody.
Okay. All right. We're
All right.
set.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So,
Remove that warrant, the arraignment, and then make it the date for March 6th at 9 for an exam.
yep, I wrote it right here.
Oh,
It needs to come. Okay. If you'll be, this is, Mr. Harris, lost right one, I'm trying to give until we get done. It is. Yes. Oh. Yes. So he already had that head. I don't know where he had that from. I have no idea. Oh, they just hit it here. I hope you stayed in character all day. Right. That's funny. Sir, what's your name?
My name is Russell Adams.
Mr. Adams, welcome.
Yes, ma'am. I overslept. I apologize.
You're an hour and a half late.
Ma'am.
You are an
Yes,
hour and a
ma'am.
half late.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
Let's call your attorney. He was here at 9 o'clock.
Ms. Barnwell,
She was removed from the case yesterday.
oh, Harris, this is Mary.
Right here. I can get right. Five, 4, 9, 7, 6, 5. 5, 9.
There you go, 313. Okay.
Quiet here.
Good morning, this is our first district court, Judge Sabree's, courtroom calling. In regards to Russell Adams, he's zoned in now, and your Honor, is not able to zone in for public comment. Thank you. Okay. He said he's gonna do it right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Attorney Harris, for calling back in.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna put you on to breakout rooms. You're welcome to talk for a minute.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, hit join on your screen.
Yes,
It should
ma'am.
pop up to- It should pop up to hit join in a couple seconds. Just hit join so you can talk in private. Okay, ready to go on the record?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This is case 2260338, the people of the state of Michigan versus Russell Tyrone Adams. Mr. Adams is charged with one count of weapons carrying concealed. Today's day set for a probable cause conference. Appearances.
Alexander Kirker on behalf of the people, P862282.
Good morning, Your Honor. Wyatt Harris, P54891, on behalf of Mr. Russell Adams, who appears via Zoom with the court's permission.
And Mr. Adams, can you state your full name, please?
Russell Adams.
Okay. So Attorney Harris, I'm assuming you don't have discovery yet, correct?
Your Honor, I just got it this morning.
Oh, okay. All right, so are we ready to set an exam date or any other issues?
Well, I'm not so sure if we want to set an exam date right away, Your Honor. I'd like to talk to Mr. Russell about the discovery, have him look at it. He and I talk. Can we set this for another PCC day?
That's fine. How far out?
Oh, Judge, no more than a week.
Okay.
We should have it figured out.
I won't be here on the 17th, 1 week out, so the 16th or the 21st.
Here, let me look at my calendar here. How about the 21st, Your Honor?
Okay. Can we do 8:30?
Yes, that would be perfect.
Mr. Adams, 8:30, sharp. You muted your device, I can't hear you. Unmute your device.
Hello?
Mr. Adams, yes. Did you hear
I
me?
do the damn Zoom thing, right?
Yes, still on Zoom, 8:30, however, February 21st at 8:30 sharp.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you too.
You're
I'm about to
welcome.
write that down. I'm about to write it down.
Okay,
8:30 on the 21st.
yes, on Zoom. Okay, nothing else, you'll have a good weekend. No,
Yes, ma'am, I'm
you
sorry.
got here pretty fast.
Pretty late driving.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is that your telephone?
Yes.
You need a charge?
No, it's been charging. I just brought it with me. They said take it wherever I go. So.
All right. You ready to call the case?
Yes.
Okay. All right, this is case 2260968, the people of the state of Michigan versus Lena Combs. Ms. Combs is charged with count 1, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault, count 2, felony commission with motor vehicle adult advisory. Day set for preliminary examination appearances.
Alexander Kirker on behalf of the people, P86282.
And Sarah Kraus, P81830, appearing on behalf of Lena Collins, who is present and standing to my left. Can you state your name for the judge, please?
Lena Combs.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are both parties ready to proceed?
People are not, Your Honor.
Okay, anything from defense?
Your Honor, I would ask for dismissal in this matter.
Okay, the time is 10:51. People are not ready to proceed. I will dismiss without prejudice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, Ms. Combs is also on a tether. I would ask for an order for that to be removed.
Okay. Thank you, because I don't have a voter.
In my experience, Judge, some judges just write it on a dismissal form and that's sufficient.
Okay, I'll do that as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Probably talking for Henry yet, no, sure.
Yes, I have to go do that.
If we all.
It's Friday, you don't really exist anymore. but-
Not in the age of penalty.
Yeah, I stand this over to the television. And you sign it.
You, Mr. Ford.
And I'm sorry, council, what's your name? Rachel McBurney. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Ford.
No.
It's been a year and a half?
Yeah.
It seems like it's been longer, actually, for the first time, like, it happened during COVID?
Yeah. During COVID.
I would have said 3 years. Okay. We're on the record as the people of the state of Michigan versus Michael Terrence Ford, case number 22-60912. Mr. Ford is charged with assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault, and count 2 weapons, felony firearms today, the date set for a preliminary examination. Appearances.
Alexander Kirker on behalf of the people, P 86282.
And good morning, Your Honor. Rachel McBurney, attorney on behalf of Michael Ford, my P number is 76222. And Mr. Ford is present in the courtroom. Can you please say your name?
Michael Ford.
Morning. And are all parties ready to proceed?
People are not, Your Honor. Subpoenas were sent out on the 27th, in this case, January 27th, in this case, and necessary witnesses not here.
And such, Your Honor, I would ask for dismissal.
Okay, seeing that the people are not ready to move forward, I will dismiss without prejudice. The time is now 11:23. Exam is scheduled for 11 o'clock.
Your Honor.
You're welcome. You already signed it. All right.
Please resume that.
On the record, this is people of the state of Michigan versus Travis Jamar Hunter. Case 2355004, Mr. Hunter is charged with count 1, assault with intent to murder. Count 2, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation. Count 3, assault with a dangerous weapon of felonious assault. This is a habitual offender report, the offense notice. Also, Mr. Hunter is charged on case 2355003 with count 1, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation. And count 2, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. This is a habitual offender report, the offense notice. Today is the day set for preliminary examination. Appearances.
Alexander Kirker on behalf of the people, P86282.
And Sarah Kraus, P81830, appearing on behalf of Travis Hunter for both matters. Mr. Hunter, can you state your name for the court nice and loud, please?
Travis Jamar Hunter.
Good morning, everybody. Both parties ready to proceed?
People are, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge, I would ask for a mutual order of sequestration at this time. I would also like to make a record as it pertains to discovery in this matter.
Okay.
Your Honor, I was last here on January 27th for a probable cause conference to ensure that I had all the discovery in both of these cases. At that time, I did state that I did not have the medical records of the complaining witness, nor did I have a report as it relates to case NEM 55003. MSP responded to that scene as well, and I have nothing indicating that any report from MSP or anything like that. So I just wanted to make a record of that before we proceed today.
And Mr. Berger, did you try to provide that? Or?
We did. Those items are currently not in possession of people.
Have they been requested?
Yes, they're.
Okay. And you are ready to move forward with no nail on the record?
Yes, Judge.
And for the mutual sequestration order, for the record, no one else is in the courtroom but the staff and defense attorney prosecutor. So with that, Mr. Kirby, you point your first witness. On which case are you calling first?
The first one is 230550004.
Okay.
It is the same, except for both.
Sorry.
It's the same
Like
witness, same witness for both cases.
Okay. Are we doing, we're doing them separately now, right?
Yes.
Yes. Also, before the witness comes in, for anyone watching on YouTube Live or viewing this hearing, if you are someone who has been notified and will be testifying on these cases, it's now time for you to log off. Did you call this?
I'm not sure if it was stated, just for the record, at this time, the people call Priscilla Johnson.
Okay, I don't know if you, were you waiting on me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was waiting for you to call her and sorry. Like if she's on the right. Court reporter first, and then come back to me, I'll swear you and I can give her your name.
Yes.
Okay, John, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have you take a seat right here, just make sure you speak into the microphone, okay? Take your time.
Judge, I'm sorry, it appears that somebody is in the Zoom room.
Yeah. Ms. Sarita,
Yes,
what are you here for today?
case against last name Williams.
What are you here for? To do what?
I'm the
Ms. Sarita, we're in the
victim's
middle
aunt.
of this exam. Can you tell me what you're logging in for so I can direct you to the right place?
I was logging in for the case. Is this not the right where I should be?
I don't know, you're saying the case with Williams. I don't know what type of case it is, who's the full name. Can you give me the full name?
I think it's Desmond Williams. It's a criminal case.
Okay, so we don't have that case in this courtroom.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning. Could you please restate your name for the record?
Priscilla Johnson.
All right, I want to take you back to the date of December 23rd, 2022. Do you remember that day?
Yes, sir.
And were you at or near the location of 17275 Rail Street?
Yes,
Is that in the city of Detroit,
yes,
county of Wayne?
yes.
And what brought you to that location?
I stay here.
And what is that location?
It's my home.
And did something happen that brings you into court today?
Yes, my friend came over. He popped up at the house late at night.
And your friend, who is your friend?
Travis Hunter.
And is Travis Hunter present in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Could you please point him out and identify an article of clothing that he is wearing?
He have no green. Is that green?
And for the record, Your Honor, the witness is pointing at the defendant. Will the record reflect the identification of the defendant?
Yes, no reflect.
And what happened when the defendant came over to your home?
Before we, or just someone in the courtroom, I don't know.
Bring it back.
Oh, okay. Yes, there's someone else in the courtroom that I didn't see. Ms. Cross, do you have an objection to the victim advocate?
No objection to the victim advocate.
Okay.
And what happened when the defendant came over?
He was yelling and cussing, and he said I left him and I took his stuff. He had left some stuff in my car earlier that day, but I didn't know.
And does the defendant frequently leave items in your car?
No,
And so what happened after he was yelling that he left stuff in your car?
I was trying to give him the keys to go look in the car, and he got the yelling and cussing me out, saying, "No, you go to the car." And he said it was in the back seat. When I was looking in the back seat, I didn't see nothing, but when I moved all my clothes bag, I seen some stuff, some items in there, and I gave it to him.
And what items were there in your car that of the defendants?
He had 2 cell phones, a couple bags of marijuana, and he had this like machete knife.
And can you describe that machete knife?
It was red, it was sharp, long.
And so you went out to the car. Were you alone when you went out to the car to retrieve these items?
My boyfriend came outside and stood on the porch. But once I gave Travis his items, when he split my neck, everybody ran in the house.
And just to clarify, the defendant was with you when you were taking his items out of the car?
He was standing on the side of me,
And roughly how close was he to you?
arm distance.
And when you said your boyfriend was out on the porch, how far away is the porch from your car?
It was this kind of far. It's not that close.
And just to take a step back, so you handed the defendant the items, including this machete,
Yes,
and what happens when you handed him these items?
he raised the knife up and he split my neck like this and be like that.
And can you describe that motion, just for the record?
When I gave it to him, he raised his arm up, he split me. And then the blood was gushing out. When he split me, the knife went like that too, so that's how I got, so like two split marks. That's how it's cut like this, because the way he did it. And I was just holding my neck running because the blood was skirting out. My neck was, everything was hanging out my neck.
And were you, when you say everything was hanging out of your neck, what do you mean by that?
My meat, all the meat that's inside my neck and my shoulder, all this was split all the way over.
You said all this, where you referring to? The left side of your neck?
Yes, from the back of my neck, all the way around to right in here. To under my chin.
And were you in pain at this moment?
Yes, I felt like I was dying, I was in a lot of pain. I just ran and hid behind some neighbor's house.
And what happened when you ran to the neighbor's house?
I was hiding in their backyard. I was back there for a long time. When I felt like I was about to pass out, like I was down, I came out, and when I went back to my house and knocked on the door
And just to clarify, why did you run to the neighbor's house?
to make sure that he don't run, so he don't run into the house, because he was saying he was gonna kill everybody in the house. He had already cut my neck, so I was trying to get him away from the house. And I'm scared to go past him, because he still has the knife in his hand.
And to clarify, when you say him, are you referring to the
Travis
defendant?
Hunter.
And when you say everybody in the house, are you referring to the house that you were staying?
Yes.
And who else was in that house?
Nancy Bridget was there. And her son was there, a couple of his little friends was there. But everybody went outside, all of them didn't see all that. Once I gave him his items, once I gave Mr. Travis his items out of the car, and I passed them to him, that's how quick he split my neck. Wasn't nobody trying to run up to help. I was begging for everybody to call the police.
And after running to the neighbor's house, what did you do? Or what happened next?
I was hiding back there for a long time, so I was about to pass out. Then I went back next door to my house, where I'm staying at. I went back to the house.
And what happened when you went back to the house?
My daughter's friend Nancy Bridget, when I said, I need help, and they see the blood, that's when they said, oh my God.
Objection, hearsay.
Acknowledged. Can you tell me your observations, but not what other people other than the defendant said?
When they see the blood coming, when they see my neck bleeding, they heard me call 911 and put a towel on. we all was holding the towel to my neck till the police ambulance got there.
And who was holding this towel to your neck?
Me and Nancy Bridget was holding the towel to my neck until the police came.
And did you seek medical treatments?
Yes, sir, they had to carry me out the house and rush me to the hospital.
And what sort of injuries did you suffer?
They say he almost.
Objection, hearsay.
The witness will be testifying to the injuries that she suffered.
She started the phrase with, they said, Judge, I don't have any medical records to back up those statements. She can testify to her injuries as she knew them to be, but she can't testify to what somebody else said.
Ms. Johnson, you just testified to the injuries that you're aware of. I'm not saying the doctor said, any medical terms, but what you know the injuries to be. Or you-
I hear almost got chopped off.
And did you suffer any scars?
Yes, from like the back of my neck to all the way under my chin. I forgot the word, just that it is in my neck. But it basically almost hit the bone and stuff. My neck, hey,
Your neck was hanging and it almost hit the bone.
yeah, from the cut wound, from the cut of the knife, it almost chopped my head off.
Just for clarification, it was the knife that.
The knife,
And do you still suffer any injuries from this incident?
yes,
And what are
a lot of pain, burning sensation, and there's been green stuff coming out my neck. I keep going back and forth to the hospital from all the pain and the green stuff coming out.
And in this moment, did you fear for your life?
Yes, I fear for my life.
You still fear for your life?
I still fear for my life.
That the defendants?
Yeah.
I have no further questions.
Ms. Johnson? The defense attorney going to ask you some questions. Right.
Good afternoon, Ms. Johnson. On this date in question, you indicated you went to your home. Does anybody else live there with you?
Nancy Bridget and her kids.
How many kids does she have?
She have two that's there.
Do you know how old they are?
Laura is 7, my son is I think like 20.
Do you recall her son's name?
Javante,
Same last name?
Bridget.
And you stated that Mr. Hunter had come over. Do you recall how he got there?
I wasn't there. When I got there, he was already in the house.
So he was in your house when you arrived home.
He was in the house when I got there.
And who was he in your house with?
He was talking to Nancy Bridget,
And who did you arrive to your home with?
my boyfriend.
And you said you had seen Mr. Hunter earlier that day, correct?
Yes,
And were you with your boyfriend at that time as well?
yes,
And everything was fine when you saw him earlier?
no, he kept trying to fight my boyfriend. Travis Hunter kept trying to fight my boyfriend. I was trying to calm him down. I asked him to to get out my car. He wouldn't get out my car. I told him I'm gonna call the police. He said he don't give it up.
So when you arrived home, you didn't tell Mr. Hunter to leave, did you?
He wasn't there when I got home. When I left him, when I left him earlier that day, when I left him at his mother's house. And then me and my boyfriend rode around and then me and my boyfriend went back to my house. When I got there, we was there for some hours. Me and my boyfriend left and went to a couple stores. And when we got back to the house that night, that's when we seen him in the house.
So he was there when you arrived home that
He
night?
was in the house.
You didn't tell him to leave, did you?
Nancy Bridget was yelling at us, asking him to leave out our house and how to get in.
But you weren't there, so you don't know if Nancy left him, is that right?
I don't know.
And you indicated that Mr. Hunter went there or came there to request some things that he had left in your vehicle, is that right?
Yes, that's what he said.
What kind of vehicle do you have?
I had a white G6 Pontiac.
So at that time, you walked out with Mr. Hunter to your vehicle, right?
Yes,
Now, is this a 4-door G6 or a 2-door G6?
a 4-door.
Which door did you open to get Mr. Hunter his things?
The back seat, the driver back seat.
Okay. And you indicated that his things were under some shopping bags?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you indicated that your boyfriend was outside at this time too, right?
He was standing on the porch.
Okay. And what was going on between you and Mr. Hunter? Were you exchanging words at this time?
No, when I gave him his stuff, he just cut my neck.
Before you gave him your stuff, you weren't arguing?
I asked him, what stuff do he have in my car?
Okay. So you handed him the things and then you say he raised his hand, correct?
Yes,
Okay, do you remember which hand he raised?
it was his right hand, because he was standing in front of me. Like he said himself, he standing in front of me.
And Judge, just so the record reflects, earlier on direct examination, when Ms. Johnson was describing the motion, she was using her left hand.
Because he's standing this way. I'm like this because this is Saturday.
Mr. Kirkland, do you remember Ms. Johnson's motions? I do believe it was her left hand, she was in the
Thank you. And you stated after you were caught, you ran to the neighbor's house, is that right?
Yes,
You were trying to see if your neighbors were home, is that right?
yeah, but I was quiet, because I didn't want him to know exactly what I ran to.
So you weren't banging on the door of your neighbor's house?
I was trying, but I couldn't. I was holding my neck.
Okay, and then you passed out, right?
No,
You did not pass out at your
I
neighbor's
didn't
house?
pass out. I was going to pass out.
Do you recall telling the police that you passed out?
I
at
was
your neighbor's
passing,
house?
I was passing out.
Do you remember making a statement to Detective Nelson Robinson on the phone on the date of December 24th of 2022?
No, mistake.
Did you talk to a detective on the phone about this incident?
I talked to quite a few, so I don't. About
How many times did you talk to detectives in this case?
I talked to, from then to now, I don't talk to a lot of them. Probably the same ones.
Did any of these detectives ask you to come in and make a formal statement?
No,
Do you remember talking to a detective when you were in the hospital?
No,
If I showed you the statement that the detective wrote, would it refresh your recollection?
I can say no, cause, I could barely talk. I couldn't really do nothing. I was in the hospital. They had just did my surgery.
What date was your surgery on?
It was on the 23rd.
Were you on a lot of pain medications?
Yes,
So you're telling me you don't recall talking to a detective?
no. I was getting phone calls, but it wasn't from the detective.
So just so the record is clear, you do not recall telling a detective that you passed out at your neighbor's house, is that correct?
No, I was passing out at my neighbor's house. I was out there in the freezing blizzard with a split open neck, hat in the snow. Yes, I was about to pass out. I lost a lot of blood. A whole lot of blood.
So there was snow on the ground?
Yes, it was snow on the ground.
Was it snowing out that night?
It was snowing earlier that day.
Did you walk through the snow to get to your neighbor's house?
On the side of their house, I went through the driveway part. I was running down the street.
Was their driveway shoveled?
No,
Do you remember officers at any point walking around your neighbor's house?
no,
Do you recall at any point whether or not officers asked if they could look in your car?
my family told me they could look in my car. I couldn't talk.
Do you recall when police first arrived on scene to help care for you?
I was in the house
Do you recall smoking a cigarette during that time?
smoking a cigarette. I was just, yeah, I did smoke a cigarette.
So you couldn't talk and you were bleeding out like you were dying, but you were smoking
They
a
just
cigarette.
got back to me when I had just about to hit this, as I was hitting the cigarette, and walking at the point I put it out. I just was trying to figure, I was trying to do something because I was in a lot of pain.
So your boyfriend was outside when all of this occurred, correct?
He was on the porch.
So he was
Yes.
outside of the home.
Yes,
He didn't come try to help you in any way?
no, ran.
How long what is your boyfriend's name?
Lamar Lewis,
Okay, how long have you and Mr. Lewis been together?
like 7.5, about 8 months. So, yeah.
Do you have any history with Mr. Lewis? Of
Yes.
violence?
Yes,
You do? What kind of history is that?
domestic violence, you know, put his hands on me.
And Mr. Lewis, were you fighting with him that day?
No. No,
And Mr. Lewis was outside the whole time when this occurred, correct?
I don't know about the whole time, because my back got turned when I was walking towards my car. When I left off the porch, Travis Hunter was walking with me. When I turned towards my car and I opened the door, when I looked at the house, I see my boyfriend still on the porch. I don't know when he went in the house. Cause I've been in my car to look for some stuff that he said he left in my car. Once I found some items, I said, you left this stuff in my car? Why would you have this stuff in my car?
We already heard that.
Okay.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson, on this night in question, had you had anything to drink?
Yes, we had some drink earlier that day.
When you say some drink, how much?
I had beer earlier.
Lambier,
Yeah,
did you smoke any marijuana?
yes,
Any other types of drugs?
no,
Do you have a history of mental illness?
no,
One moment, Your Honor. Ms. Johnson, for the record, what hospital were you taken to?
St. Grace,
Was there another female in your home that night,
Nancy Bridget,
other than Ms. Burgett?
her sister,
What's her sister's name?
Sandra.
Was Mr. Lewis at any point in time in your car that evening?
That night,
Yes.
yeah, they said, well, I didn't see him in my car. When the policeman came, they escorted me to the ambulance. I heard that he was in my car. I didn't see him in my car.
Okay. Thank you. I have nothing further. You go ahead.
How far away is the porch from where your vehicle is?
My car was parked in front of the neighbor's house.
And you give a rough estimate of how far that is from the porch?
I'd say it's more than 20 feet. It's not-
And when you were getting the items out of your car, did you hand them to the defendants?
Yes,
And you saw him take the items?
he grabbed the items on my hand. I gave it to him.
And you saw him swing the knife at you?
Yes, he raised his hand. And cut me.
No further questions.
Your Honor, just briefly. Ms. Johnson, what time of night did this happen? What time of night did this occur?
I don't know, I lost the time, I don't know.
Was it dark outside?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the street where you were parked lit?
Kind of,
What do you mean by kind of?
I know it's a light on the street.
Okay. When you open the door to your G6, does the light come on in your car?
No. It was light out, it was a light outside.
There was a light outside?
And you open my back door, the light come on.
So the area you were in was illuminated, is that right?
It was light outside. It was dark, but you know, the street light was on.
Okay. I have nothing further, thank you.
None from the people, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, at this time, the people would move to bind over on all counts. Those would be count 1, assault with intent to murder, count 2, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation, and count 3, assault with a dangerous weapon. As we heard from the witness, she and the defendant went out to her car to obtain items of his that he had left in her, that he had stated that he had left in her car. She She found those items under a few shopping bags and handed them to the defendants. They were the only two in the vicinity of the car. Her boyfriend was outside, but he was on the porch, which the witness testified was at least 20 feet away from the vehicle. The defendant then grabs the items, including what was described as a machete, from the witness. The witness then saw him raise his hands and slash her once across the neck, and then a second time across the neck, coming back up. She testified that she was in a lot of pain. She was close to passing out. She ran to her neighbor's house. Out of fear, the defendant was saying that he was going to kill everybody else. She then went back to her house where the police and medical treatment was sought. She testified that she suffered scars from the back of her neck all the way to underneath the front of her neck. That pieces of her neck were hanging out. But she still suffers from this incident. The knife almost reached to the bone of her neck. And people believe that it met the burden of probable cause and asked to find over.
Your Honor, I would object to bind over, especially on the assault with intent to murder charge. There is no intent here. There's no motive for this crime. Mr. Hunter went to Miss Johnson's home to retrieve some of his things. After that, there were no words spoken. Miss Johnson asked Mr. Hunter what he needed from her car. She walked out with him to the car, obviously not thinking that he was any type of threat to her. She handed Mr. Hunter his items, and then, according to her, he instantly stabbed her, Judge. There's no motive or intent in this matter, especially as a result or goes to assault with intent to murder. And I would argue the same for count 2 and count 3, Judge. I would also like to add in that the fact that we don't have the medical records in this case, especially as to Miss Johnson describing her own injuries as she did here today, that can be put in question upon receipt of the medical records in this matter, Judge. So I'm asking that this case not be bound for. Thank you.
Briefly, Your Honor, the defendant, as the witness testified, she described it as a machete, which is a rather large knife. And the defendant slashed her in the throat, not once, but twice. And as she described, almost all the way to the bone. No other way. It's clear intent to try to kill this person. The defendant then also stated he was going to kill everybody else in the house. So we would reiterate that believe that we had the probable cause and that's the final.
I'm not going to recite the facts for Ms. Johnson. So the question here is for assault with intent to murder, the question whether or not people have met their burden of proof. First element is that the defendant tried to physically injure another person based on the testimony from Ms. Johnson. I do believe Mr. Hudson did try to physically injure Ms. Johnson, and he did do so with the machete. Second, that the defendant committed the assault. He had the ability to cause injury, or at least believe that he had the ability. Once again, Ms. Johnson testified that she handed to Mr. Hunter, and that he snatched or grabbed from her the red machete, as she described, red, sharp, and long. And it can be inferred that someone has the ability to cause an injury when they have a machete in their hand. Third, that the defendant intended to kill the person that he assaulted, and the circumstances did not legally excuse or reduce the crime. With Mr. Hudson saying, 1, I'm going to kill everybody else in the house. 2, that he almost killed Ms. Johnson. And as she described, it slit her neck twice. And that she was holding her head because it was hanging over, and that it was blood everywhere. And she was cut to the white meat, meaning that the bone was almost cut. Medical records are necessary for her to describe that she was almost killed. She said she was passing out and hid behind a neighbor's house so that she wouldn't have to meet or run past or cross paths with Mr. Hudson because he had gone into the house. She didn't know where he was. And for this count, you do not have to have injury. We have injury in this case, slit throat. And medical records aren't required when a complaining witness testified that her throat was slit with a machete. So I do believe that people have met their burden of proof to show that Mr. Hudson did intend to kill Ms. Johnson. So I will have him bound over on that count and the following counts: great bodily harm, felonious assault as well. So for this case, Mr. Hudson, you'll be bound over to Third Circuit Court for regular information on February 17th at 9 o'clock. Have one more. The same complaining witness? Yes. Okay. You ready, or do you want to need a break?
Ready, Judge, I would just ask that the same sequestration order.
With the exception of the victim advocate?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so this is case 2355003. Mr. Hunter, Travis Jamar Hunter is charged in this case with assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation, and assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. This is an habitual offender, fourth offense notice. The appearances are on the record. For the mutual sequestration order, is for anyone who is watching on YouTube Live who may be a witness on this case. You are to log off. You are not allowed to view testimony starting now. And for the record, there's no one else in the courtroom except for the victim advocate, staff, defense attorney, prosecutor. With that, Mr. Kirk, you can call your witness.
At this time, the people will call Priscilla Johnson.
You still under oath. I don't have to. So you can just sit right back in that seat. We just have to take care of a couple matters. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Kirk.
Good afternoon. Would you please restate your name for the record?
Priscilla Johnson.
I want to take you back to the date of December 28th, 2022. Do you remember that day?
Yes,
Were you at or near a location, Southfield Freeway, near Joy Road?
yes,
Then in the city of Detroit,
yes,
county of Wayne?
yes.
And what brought you to that location?
I was leaving my auntie house.
And when you were leaving, were you driving?
Yes,
And in what vehicle were you driving?
the Pontiac white G6.
Is that your vehicle?
Yes,
And did something happen when you were driving?
there was a car that pulled up on the side of me, on the driver's side, and it got too close. When I looked over, I seen the ponytail, and then I seen Travis Hunter's face. I got scared. The
And
car was,
when you say driving too close to, what do you mean by that?
like somebody tried to hit my car.
And somebody was trying to hit your car?
Yeah, it was pushing me to the wall.
And so the vehicle was colliding with your vehicle?
Yeah.
It was making contact?
Uh-huh.
And on what side of the vehicle was it making contact?
The driver's side.
Your driver's side?
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you say yes or no. Okay. Okay.
And what happened when it made contact with your vehicle?
I hit the wall, got the swerving, the car went move in the middle of the street. So, some people helped me to get out the street
And did your vehicle collide with anything?
with the brakes
And with the
on
fire?
the freeway.
And was the freeway busy at this time?
No,
Was there a lot of traffic around you at this
it
time?
was coming. The traffic was coming, yes.
But at this time when this incident happens, there wasn't a lot of traffic?
No, it wasn't a whole lot of traffic when the vehicle was coming towards mine. There wasn't a whole bunch of traffic. But once my car hit the wall, then I could see all the traffic coming. My car was spinning and everything.
And were you, at this time, how fast were you traveling?
I was starting off doing like 30, 35 because I had just came down the freeway.
And did you recognize the vehicle that hit you?
No,
Have you seen this vehicle before?
I don't know. I got real scared when I seen him. He was in the passenger seat.
When you say he, were you referring to?
Travis Hunter.
And was Travis Hunter present in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Could you please point him out and identify an article of clothing he is wearing?
He's sitting right there with the green shirt.
And Your Honor, let the record reflect the identification of the defendant.
So reflect.
And how did you feel in this moment?
I really was scared and terrified.
Did you fear for your life?
Yes, I wanted to go and hack it.
And why did you want to go and hide?
He already done cut my neck. I almost died.
When you say he, are you referring to the
Travis
defendant?
Hunter almost killed me.
And so you were afraid because you saw him in this incident as well?
Yes,
And was your vehicle damaged?
yes,
And what was the extent of those damages?
it's total.
Can you describe the damages to the vehicle?
The tires was hanging off. It wasn't drivable.
And which tire was hanging on?
It was the driver tire. All the tires was loose off.
And did you suffer any injuries?
A lot of bruises.
Can you describe those bruises?
My head, my arms, my back, my neck, my legs. And I went to the hospital.
And were the police called?
I called the police once the people got me off the freeway. I called the police and the police came out to my home.
They came out to your home?
Yes,
So you called them once you got back to your home?
yes.
And why did you leave the scene before calling?
The people that was helping me, and once the traffic started coming, they couldn't get over. So the exit they came at, I stayed right there. And I was already scared because it was a car full of men that helped me. So I wanted them to hurry up. I wanted to get somewhere safe. And they took me to they took me back home. And they gave me a couple dollars to give the men for gas. They gave them gas money to help me. Then I called the police, and the police came out and gave me a report number. And then they left. And then the next day I went to the hospital.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge, thank you. So you waited until you got to your home to call the police?
Yes,
So you left the scene of an accident?
we was gonna be hit by all the cars that would have been dead on the freeway.
Did you ever at any point go back to the location of the accident?
No, the police told me to to go to the hospital if I feel any type of injury.
Do you remember police offering you to call an ambulance
Yes,
and you refused it?
yes,
Okay. And you were back on the freeway when you talked to Detroit police officers, is that right?
no, they came to my home.
Who responded to the scene that towed your car?
The tow truck picked my vehicle up. And when I called the tow truck people now, I went to go and see the vehicle. They said it wasn't drivable and that I had to pay $150 for, the damages to the freeway for them cleaning it up. And they had me sign my title over to them
You never talked to any Michigan State police officers?
when they came to my home.
So both Michigan State Police and Detroit Police came to your home.
The Detroit police came to my home.
What about the Michigan State Police, the ones that drive the blue cars?
No, I don't know.
So you don't know where your car went, you never went back to your car?
No, no, when they gave me the report number, they told me to they told me to call the precinct and tell me where my car be located.
At the Detroit police.
Yeah. Once they told me where my car was located at, I called them and the tow truck man told me I can come look at my vehicle. It's not running, it wasn't working. So they told me in order for me to get my items out the car, I had to sign over my title to them and pay them $150.
Was there anybody else with you in the car?
My daughter was with me.
Okay, and you didn't let your daughter talk to the police, is that right?
No, I thought you were saying, when I went to go and get my items out the car. I thought you was asking, was anybody with me when I went to get my things out the car?
Wait, so your daughter was with you initially? Or only when you went to get stuff out of the car?
When I went to go get my things out of my car.
Mr. Hunter doesn't have a car, does he?
No,
And you told the police that he didn't crash into your car, is that right?
I said that he wasn't driving the car. He wasn't driving the car.
So you don't know who was driving the car?
No, I don't.
But it was not Mr. Hunter.
No.
I have no further questions, Judge.
You're right.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Seat in the hallway. That should be it for today. Right after morning. Okay, thank you. Begin with.
None from the people, Your Honor.
None from the back.
At this time, the people have voted to bind over on all counts, which would be count 1, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or less strangulation, and count 2, assault with a dangerous weapon under an aiding and abetting theory. As we heard from the witness, she was driving in her vehicle, a white Pontiac G6. She was approached by another vehicle that she said was driving too close to her, on the right side of her, on the driver's side of the vehicle. She then was able to see the defendant sitting in the passenger seat of the vehicle before this vehicle. She took the car, collided with her on the right side, causing her car to hit into the bricks on the freeway. and totaling the vehicle. The witness was scared, as she testified to, because of seeing the defendants. Um, was able to get helped off the freeway by some other people, eventually back to her home, where she called 911. She was told to go back to her home, and she was scared because the freeway was, there were a lot of other vehicles there. Um, People believe that they have the burden of probable cause and would find
Judge, I would object to bind over as it relates to all these charges and as to the prosecution's theory of aiding and abetting. Judge, as you just heard Mr. Kirker say, she was hit on the right side of her car. So as she's looking over and sees Mr. Hunter in a passenger seat, not even driving the vehicle, she's looking over her passenger seat, the driver of the other vehicle, and sees Mr. Hunter in the passenger seat. Judge, there can be no intent for Mr. Hunter to cause this kind of harm to Ms. Johnson in this circumstance when he wasn't even driving a vehicle. And as to the prosecutor's theory of aiding and abetting, there's no testimony that he was gesturing or making any movements or saying anything, screaming at Ms. Johnson. Judge, the people have not met their burden of probable cause in this case, especially since Mr. Hunter was not driving the car. So I would object to bind over on all of the counts.
no.
All right, once again, I'm not gonna recite the facts of this case. In this case, stands were brought to the court based off the aiding and abetting theory. Now, I do believe that Mr. Hunter had something to do with it, but it was not proven today. I think that people were not able to prove the aiding and abetting theory. You see that Mr. Hunter, as Ms. Johnson testified, was the passenger. This type of case, you know, he didn't have much control. He didn't have any control over where the vehicle was going. Nothing supports the aiding and abetting theory, which you have to prove. And Mr. Hunter couldn't retreat any way if he wanted to with that. I believe Ms. Johnson was being terrorized by Mr. Hunter, but it was not proven today on the second case for the aiding and abetting theory. So with that, the second case will be dismissed without prejudice.
Thank you, Judge.